this house in the southern tier. Cool. Dude, this house is amazing. It's in like Lakewood, New York, about 15 minutes from the Southern Tier Brewery, and it's just like surrounded with like heads of like elks, a moose. There's a turkey in there, a fucking porcupine. That I was corrected that is actually a beaver. And we're high as shit, and I'm like, hey, which one of these animals in the room would you resurrect? And Lindsay Kriegbaum was just like, probably that groundhog over there, so I could cuddle it. And I'm like, you dumbass, you can't cuddle that. That's a porcupine. And Drew just goes, you high pieces of shit. That's a fucking beaver. It has buck teeth, the tail, and it has a log of wood.
Literally holding a piece of wood. It
That's
had the
funny.
Flat
yeah.
I looked at both of them. And looked, what's wrong
Fucking
with
dumbasses.
You?
Our eyes are like bleeding. We're so high. Ooh, man, how's the tap water in this place? I do not have an opener. Someone else, Eugene, want to open? You haven't opened in a while.
It's been 9 years.
It's been 1 week since I look at me.
Pretty sure those are the words.
Mm-hmm.
Let me eat his oatmeal first.
Yeah.
Gonna wash it down.
Fuck, I forgot to eat today.
Gonna wash it down with Aquaman. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Do you want me to get you a Slim Jim?
You forgot to eat like all day?
This is what she does.
Anything.
Yeah. This is
I'm good, thanks.
Do you want a
It's
Slim Jim?
oatmeal,
Do you
and
want?
It's cold and it has walnuts and pecans
I
and.
can't eat walnuts.
Oh yeah, walnuts with shell.
Never mind.
Yeah, you know when like
Never mind.
people eat shellfish that aren't supposed to eat shellfish? That's like her and walnuts.
That's not true. I don't like blow up or anything. It's
Like
really
Mrs.
itchy.
Puff.
You get what? Really edgy?
Itchy.
Oh, edgy.
Even
You're
more than
already
usual.
you get edgier.
Drew, you're so edgy.
What does that even mean?
No, edgy isn't cool.
Yeah.
Is edgy cool?
Like a knife.
Yeah, like an edgelord.
Edgelords are not cool. Fine.
Yeah, some of my water. But then again, it's
Yeah,
probably
this is-
tainted with the walnuts.
This is from the spring. Oh, that's like Burger King cooking their fucking Impossible burgers right next to the meat.
Which, yeah, why would they do that? Like, if it's
That's-
for vegans.
That's like exactly that's what they were like playing towards. Like, hey, this is vegan.
Yeah.
Don't cook it on the same fucking grill.
It's all right.
That-
Those Impossible Whoppers are awful anyways.
Of
I
course
had
they
one.
Oh, of course they
and
are.
It
They're
tasted like fucking cardboard.
Ugh.
that's
It
because
tasted
it's
like
not a burger.
Fresh grilled cardboard. It was
Fresh
awful. It was
The
awful.
freshest cardboard.
No.
Whatever it is you vegans eat, maybe it's a shoe.
Maybe it's a shoe.
Maybe it is a shoe. Do me a favor, say that one more time and let's start with that.
What?
I like that. Just say that.
That Kevin
That.
Bacon was dead the whole time?
He was dead the whole time? In Stir of Echoes? Didn't work.
Hey
huh?
guys, welcome. We're the Terror Trio. We started kind of weird today. I'm Eugene.
I'm Micah.
Oh, I'm Drew. We're doing this?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Might
we're
as well
recording,
start it
right?
that way.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, man. Guys, it's November 19th, episode 49. It is also Horror Delilah's birthday.
No, it's not.
By the time this airs,
It's still not my birthday.
It's still not her birthday.
it'll be a day after your birthday.
Still not my birthday.
Okay,
Wah,
well,
wah, wah.
okay, let's see here.
Husband fail right
No,
there.
no, not really. Eugene, ask Horror Delilah for her driver's license.
Horror
What is-
Delilah, can I please see your driver's license?
No, you may not.
All right.
Ask her why.
Why?
Because they
You don't
like
have
3
one?
chins in my picture.
Okay, the
don't
three
care about
chins
your
thing is
picture.
that's not even a real thing. Her driver's license says that it's November 21st,
Okay.
1989.
Okay.
She claims to be born
I
on
don't claim. I know that I was born on November 20th.
because she was there.
Because my
Well,
mother
yes, she was there.
scheduled me. I was a C-section. It wasn't like my mom went into labor at 11 p.m. and was just like, oh shit, it's November 20th, and then had me on November 21st actually and fucked it up. I was scheduled at 1:53 p.m. There's no way to fuck that up.
So then,
That's so the state of
so wait a
Maryland
minute,
fucked
is
it up.
In your what does your birth certificate say?
My birth certificate says the 21st, and then
Okay.
all of my other IDs said the 20th.
Oh,
But I started
how did
to
that happen?
because that's my right birthday.
Oh.
But so, and we kept trying to get like Maryland to amend my birth certificate, and even
Uh-huh.
like my mom, when they originally took me from the hospital, was like, "Hey, this is wrong." And they're like, "Okay, we'll fix it." 30 years later, here we are.
Wow.
Guess what hasn't changed? So I have 2 birthdays.
Fuck it. Yeah, you got 2 birthdays. 2
2
days
birthdays.
in a row. There you go.
Okay, first off, you do not have 2 birthdays. Let's get it right. You have a birthday month.
Yeah, I do.
From November 1st till the end of the month, you get fucking
Oh,
spoiled.
one of those people.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
yeah.
No. It's
One of those
because
people.
Micah orders shit for me and then can't fucking keep it a secret. He literally hands it to
I
me once it
tried
comes
keeping
in.
things a secret. I did, but I left like a receipt out. And then the other thing, it was it came in the mail, and of course
instead of just like taking it from me and saying no, I really didn't.
she
have to
twisted my arm
I
and
really
said,
didn't
"Look,
have to
I'm
push
gonna
that
get
hard."
this regardless." So
I was
fucking
even like,
pony up.
I was even sitting back and I was like, you know, you don't have to give it to me. It's fine if you really want to wait up for it.
Eugene, that's mind games.
That's not mind games.
That's
You know
mind
what?
I was
games.
like, you know, if you
Knowing
want to
you,
keep it a
knowing you as well
surprise-
as I know you now, you can't keep anything in. You can't keep
can't.
anything for any amount of time, because there's been stuff like for us to post and shit. You're just right away, bow. As soon as you get it or you see it, you post it.
What are you talking about?
So I just post like Instagram posts, stuff, pictures that we have done, or anything. Like you just like rah, 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 you're like right out there. Instead of I'm like, if I tell you like, let's wait, let's do like a slow drop on
He
things.
gets excited.
when have you
You
ever
get
said that?
so excited and you're like, bam, pow, pow.
Like what? I'm really
Not
trying
gonna get
to
into
think
it
of
on the air with you.
all
Not gonna get into it on the air with you.
right.
Mom and Dad are fighting.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, man, shit. All right. So because it's Drew was born in 1989, we are going to cover some horror movies from 1989.
Woo.
In
year.
a fine year.
Fine year.
But first, Drew's news.
No.
Drew's news.
Do me a favor. Don't read the top 2 lines because they were just little pointers for myself. So the third dot there, you may start reading.
You know, I'm gonna read the first 2 lines.
No, don't do that. They don't make
Please
any
do it.
sense.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Drew's funeral, it starts with, guys, I'm scared. Alright, camera here. Let's see here. I want to know what those notes are for. What's the cat meme?
Oh my god, I didn't know that was what's her nuts from Halloween. So the cat meme of obviously the cat sitting at the table and the blonde being held back. That is, give me that. Give me.
Lindsay Wallace.
Kyle Richards, who played Lindsay Wallace in Halloween, who reprised the role as Lindsay Wallace, who I guess Jamie Lee Curtis just had an interview about how amazing she was in it.
Nice.
Yeah. But
I didn't realize.
so-
I know it's from like a reality
so
show.
that
but-
cat meme, that the one holding the blonde back,
Yeah.
that's the little girl from the original Halloween.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm good. All
Okay.
right, there you go.
Sure.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
stuff?
great. I'm too good actually.
Okay. Oh boy. First, there were gummies. Then people said, make them like boobs because boobs are awesome.
Boobs are awesome.
Then came the dick gummy because why not? Now the good people at Unnecessary Inventions bring you the human centipede. All right, I see where you went with that one.
Yeah, Unnecessary Inventions, they brought like they make so much stupid shit. They made a net for the shitter. For like if you drop your it's an ongoing thing. Some people, they drop their phone in the shitter. It has like this thing that catches it. They made giant iPods. They just make so many unnecessary inventions, and they came up with this human centipede gummy, which actually one of our fans tagged us in just earlier today. Did you take a look at those, Eugene?
I did, but I'm still trying to figure out how does somebody drop their phone in the toilet? Is it when they're like peeing?
I
and
know.
they're texting and peeing, and then it drops? Because I can't imagine anybody dropping their phone in the toilet when they're taking a shit, or if they're a female peeing.
All right.
Like, aren't your legs close together?
Good.
For some people, no, they're not. I've never had this problem.
Me neither. I
However-
just can't.
However, there are people who
can't
are
fathom that.
not down with the thickness that may be able to just slip that right
Ooh,
down.
Okay, maybe. All right.
Another. I know a buddy of mine that had his cell phone. He was on the shitter looking at it, whatever, and then set it down.
Okay, stop fucking calling it
The shitter?
I can't. I can't.
That's why I said toilet.
It's t-
On the commode.
Thank you. I'll
Sure.
take
They
that.
set the cell phone down like the how like your pants are down around your ankles. He set his cell phone down like on his underwear. Forgot it was there. Stood up, pulled his pants up, and it just went bloop and fell
Oh
right into the toilet.
my
It happened to a
God.
coworker of mine. Yeah, they reached in real quick.
Oh, no.
Yeah, pulled it out. Yeah, so that was yeah.
That's like I mean I have the whole like my phone. It's like water resistant up to 9 feet, but I'm like, I don't want it back.
Yeah.
I drop it in a toilet. Keep it. It's yours now, toilet.
Oh yeah, that's it. It's gone.
No.
No, flush it and everything.
Yeah, no, not about that life. Well,
Hope you're
okay,
happy with it,
so
toilet.
So human centipede gummies.
yeah, human centipede gummies.
That's
didn't
awesome.
know
If you
about
look, if you check Unnecessary Inventions out on YouTube, they actually have a video showing like the 3D renderings and stuff like that, the different flavors they were making for the gummies and stuff. It's actually pretty cool.
Interesting.
Quite.
it. We'll never buy them.
Fucking bet.
I
Yeah,
meant
they're all
I didn't
gummies.
say will. I said will. Like I will never.
No, I'm getting them.
All right. Some of the best pinball games have been horror related. One of them being Elvira Scared Stiff and the Addams Family. You said one of them, but you just listed 2.
Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Now Elvira is back with an all-new game, Elvira House of Horrors. We'll post a link of Cassandra Peterson playing the new game on our Twitter.
Good job on Cassandra. Yeah, this is her 3rd pinball game.
That's a big deal.
That really
It
is. I looked it up. The thing is close to $8,000. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah. Do you remember Scared Stiff? The first one she had? And she had the second one was like called Monster Party. The first one is like one of the best pinball games I've ever played.
I don't think. Well, we saw. No, that wasn't a. Because I was thinking about when I saw the Elvira thing in Reno, but that was a slots machine.
That was
slot
slots,
machine.
yeah.
I've never played. We found the Addams Family one in Reno.
That was so much fun.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
But
What
yeah,
a
we
great
didn't see
pinball
the-
game.
we
You
didn't
ever
see the
play? Do you play
Elvira one.
pinball, Eugene?
Only when I go to Masuda Chow's.
Oh, yes, local establishment here in Buffalo, New York.
Here,
Yes.
their stairs are pink.
They
Yes. Do you even Buffalo if you don't take a selfie on those stairs?
probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Am I the only person in this room that hasn't taken a selfie on those stairs?
I don't
Probably.
think Eugene has one. Eugene,
I
you have
have.
one? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
my
me
goodness,
too,
too.
man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to finding an arcade or a bar or whatever that's gonna have this. And yeah, it's a really cute video of Cassandra playing her new game for the first time, and it's a lot of fun.
Everything she does is cute. My
Oh,
God.
she's a
get it
fucking
together.
treasure.
Netflix is on a roll with true crime documentaries with the latest The Confession Killer, which profiles Henry Lee Lucas. That's exciting.
Drew, what's Henry Lee Lucas was the one that confessed to like 300 murders?
Something
Yeah.
like that. Something stupid like that. Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Yep.
That the cops were just like, oh, okay, yep, he did it.
Mhm.
Yeah, unreal. All those families that have like, it's that just know that Henry Lee Lucas did not commit these murders.
Oh yeah.
Plus, it was what's, my God, Roker, Michael Rooker. He played
Al Roker.
Al Roker.
Al Roker
Played
played
Henry.
Yes.
Henry in Portrait of a Serial Killer, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
With him and Otis.
Are you going to the con here to meet him?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm
Henry
hoping
Lee
that
Lucas?
Peter
No, not
Hello?
Henry Lee Lucas. my
over
dear.
in from Thursday Night Terrors maybe gets a screening of Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer and brings him on. Because you know every time they do Nickel City Con,
Oh
they
yeah.
end up bringing doing
Yeah.
a couple screenings
That'd be
with
cool.
somebody.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, with the launch of Disney Plus, there's been an overwhelming response to Gargoyles.
Yes.
So much that the creator, Greg Wiseman, wants the show to come back with new episodes and urges you to tweet #KeepBringingGargoyles.
Yeah,
Or
he's.
just, no, see, here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing.
I mean, you think about
Wow.
like it's. Go ahead.
It's table smack time. Do it.
Yeah.
It's just,
Go on a rant.
oh no, I mean, I get it, and it's very exciting and cool, whatever, but at the same time, like, just let it die. Let it be a nostalgia. It's
Well,
fine.
I don't know. I mean, there were 70 episodes. It never really like ended, and it just kind of stopped.
Yeah, but the animation is gonna be all that weird computer looking, and like I hate when they do. this
Maybe,
shit.
maybe not.
I mean, there's yeah. I mean, in her defense, though, I mean, it's true. A lot of the stuff that they've tried to bring back,
It doesn't work.
it's not
just,
working.
It's different.
Shira, like on
No.
Netflix, it's not working.
Well, that was more like a reboot. I think he
Voltron,
wants to.
It's not working.
Same thing,
You
a
know,
reboot.
just- whether it's
was-
a
it
reboot
was-
or
it was a
not, it's
reboot
they're still
with-
bringing it back. Like the only thing I'm holding out for right now, holding out hope for, is they're doing. Kevin Smith is doing a He-Man, animated series for Netflix,
That's cool.
and supposedly it's going to be a continuation of the original series.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
we'll see how that works. But honestly, yeah, I don't
I'd like
agree
to
when
see
they,
that
when they
same
redo
animation
stuff.
style.
No,
It's not working. It's not working.
Yeah, it's just very. It's too much. Like, I mean, people get excited and they get nostalgic. They're like, "Cool, we want
Yeah.
more." But and like, what's it called? Like Fuller House.
I was just
Shit
about to
like
say that.
When they bring back old shows, like it worked back then because that was how society was.
Mhm.
That was how the times were. That was what you grew up with. Like that's
Yeah.
it. But like it doesn't work now. Am I still gonna watch Lizzie McGuire when it comes out? Yes, but that's besides the point.
It worked with Samurai Jack and it worked with Futurama.
Mm,
And they kept the same animation.
that
They kept the
wasn't-
same
Samurai
voice.
Jack though wasn't a reboot or anything. It was
And
it was literally a continuation so they can end a story.
That's
It's
And it was the same
30
animation,
years
same writers, same
later.
everything. And yeah, it was still within the same. I mean,
decades.
Time-
Like,
yeah, yes,
like it's
yes.
just this is years.
Gargoyles wouldn't be a reboot. It
I'm
would be a
not-
continuation
I know, but and even still, why would you continue? It just doesn't make sense.
because it just stopped.
Yeah, I know, but
It
I don't
stopped
know.
at like 70 episodes.
Yeah, that's a lot.
that's a lot of fucking episodes.
It
Yeah.
is, but I mean, it only had a 3-year
So
run.
then, okay, so people just watching now, you have to rewatch the first 70 episodes in order to be understanding what's going on since they're continuing it.
Oh, that shouldn't be hard.
There aren't that many hardcore fans.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, it just I don't know, I don't like it, but
If there were, then they would have done a Gargoyles reboot a while ago.
well, yeah, exactly.
They've
like,
been
it's not-
teasing Gargoyles a while. They were teasing a live action movie a couple years ago.
That would have been bad.
Probably.
That would be so bad.
Probably.
Oh my god.
I could see it being like Spawn.
Yeah.
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 Just like the rumored Thundercats movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Oh, that fake trailer with Vin Diesel.
No.
You know what I'm talking
I know what
about?
you're talking
Yeah.
about, but no, there's supposedly. I talked about it on GTL a few weeks back, but supposedly there was a secret movie that was being filmed with Ryan Reynolds, and supposedly it's a heist movie. Like that's what everybody's getting told that it's a heist movie. I think it's a Michael Bay movie on top of that, but
Oh,
supposedly
Jesus.
it's a Thundercats movie
Oh.
that's going to get released on Netflix.
Interesting.
So who knows?
All right.
But that's not horror news. So
No,
but-
it's still kind of
All right, well,
still news to me.
well, if you give a shit about them bringing gargoyles back, hashtag keep bringing gargoyles.
God, that 45 minutes of sleep is really catching up on you.
I'm doing
I
great.
love it. I
All
love it.
right, from the writers of Channel Zero comes brand new cherry flavor with an 8-episode series based on Todd Grimson's cult horror novel. Brand new cherry flavor, is that what it was called?
Brand new cherry flavor is what
Okay.
it's called. It's cool because it's the writers from Channel Zero.
Yeah.
They're writing this 8 episodes. I haven't read the book, but it has something to do with Hollywood and the occult.
Interesting.
I'm intrigued,
That'll be neat.
especially if it has that same kind of feel style that Channel Zero
I just
did.
read your next line and I'm pissed now.
Read it out loud.
I don't remember what I wrote.
Saw TV series is in its early stages of
Yep.
development. Let it fucking die,
Well, it
people.
can't die
Let
if-
Well, it's not gonna
shit
die with a new movie
fucking
coming out.
die.
Yeah, how's it gonna die with a new movie coming out? Now there's
So why
talking
does there
to.
need to
with
be a
Chris
TV
Rock?
series?
I
The
agree.
thing
There
is,
doesn't need to be a TV
It doesn't
series.
need to
That's
be a
fucking
TV
stupid,
series.
but
No.
that just means everybody's going to be interconnected somehow, and everybody's been
But
working for
then-
Jigsaw the whole time.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
They're gonna make this series. It's gonna be shit.
It's gonna be like Game of
Nobody's
Thrones.
gonna watch it, and then everyone's gonna be like shitting on. It's gonna be shit for horror again. It's just one more horror thing that fucking sucks, and then one more horror thing that other people don't want to fucking do because this one thing didn't do well.
Unfortunately, this seems to be like the trend that's going to go
It
on
is. It's
now
a
because
cycle.
they did it with The Purge.
I
The
was
Purge
just
already
gonna
got the
bring that
second
up.
season, so
I
You
did
know.
not know that they had a first.
they had a first season.
You
Yeah, and the
just
first
taught me
season
something
was
right
I
now.
watched
We've
like the
talked
first
about it
3 or
on
4 episodes of it,
Yeah, you don't listen.
and it wasn't very good. And now they did. Now, yeah, they're into the second season right now.
Wow.
So it's
Yeah.
currently airing.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, it's like
That's
4
it. You didn't
episodes in,
know
I
that
think.
either.
What is it? FX or some shit?
I think so.
Ah,
I
alright.
think it is. I think
I'm
it
just.
is
I,
FX.
I'm not big on the Purge as is. So
I like the.
I like the first
Purge.
movie. I like the second
Yeah,
movie. That's
yeah.
it.
that second movie was sweet.
It was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more of it. Was a
Because
lot
it
of
just
action.
expanded the world a little more.
And
Yeah.
I think that's we stopped watching after the second one, right? Do we watch
Correct.
any other ones?
No, we stopped at the second one.
You didn't even watch the one that was filmed here.
No.
Nope.
The fucking worst one of the series.
Actually.
One of the
Yeah,
worst
that's-
movies ever
that's-
fucking made.
That's what I heard, and I'm just like,
It was
alright,
so
whatever.
fucking bad. It was so bad.
Let's go Buffalo. All right. Lynn Shay was recently interviewed stating that her
Yeah.
Insidious character Elise will have a prequel which was already filmed, and to expect Insidious 5 sometime in 2020 or early 2021.
Jesus Christ!
I had no clue that they were doing a prequel.
They were up to 5.
The Lost Key, the Last Key, the Hidden Key.
That was 4.
That was 4.
Well, then wait, what was 3?
What was 3?
What was
3 was
Lost Key was the
the
one with the daughter.
Oh,
or with the
prequel.
girls.
Yeah, the 3 was the one with the little girl. Shit.
So there was 2.
There was because the first 2 were the one was the one with the son with the little kid, which was stupid.
Wait,
Then
that was
the
first
third
2?
one- Those are the
right,
first
right, 'cause
2.
this 2 was they moved houses.
Yes.
2 is the one
Yes.
where Lin Shaye dies.
I thought she died at the end of the first one, or was it or is it the end of the second one?
She dies at the end of the second
She fucking
one.
dies. I know the first 2. The first 2 movies have to deal with the same family with Patrick Wilson, with Lin Shaye, with
Yeah.
all of them,
Yeah.
and with the fucking little kid.
The third one
Then
was
with
the
Darth
first
Maul.
time that she met that cross-dressing demon.
The third one was with. I thought it was like in an apartment building with a little girl. I liked that one.
Yeah.
That was when I was
that's
like,
the one
all right,
where
they
she
did-
was
That
like
one was
breaking.
They did okay.
That's
She was
right.
breaking her own bones and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Okay.
the next one was the prequel when she went back to like her home or whatever.
That's where she met those
Those
two.
two guys,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Whose
two-
names
yeah.
I cannot think of.
I don't know. Ghost Facers.
Yes.
Ghost Facers.
But okay, wow, they're up to
Um,
5. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Dude, get this. Total 4 films. Their budget for 4 films, $26.5 million.
That's insane.
Okay, you know how much 4 films did box office?
How much?
$539.4 million.
Yeah.
Holy
wee.
Whole
fuck,
lot
that's
of
a
profit.
That's why-
Oh my
Whole lot of profit.
That's why they
God.
keep fucking banging those out.
Yeah, I
Plus,
mean,
it's good for Lin Shaye.
I love her. She's phenomenal.
she's good.
She is. Good
She's
God,
gonna be,
I love her in Kingpin.
She's gonna. She's gonna be in the new Grudge movie
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
with John Cho.
Man, what is it about good sex that makes you have to take a shit? That's what she said in
Oh.
Kingpin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait,
You
what?
loosened something there for me. That's a good movie.
Woody Harrelson's throwing up.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
man had to pay rent.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Ozzy Osbourne and Marilyn Manson will be teaming up for No More Tours 2 next summer with the date for June 6th in Pittsburgh. Take the hint, Drew, is what it says.
Take the
on
fucking
there.
hit.
That's
It's a
funny.
Saturday.
I don't need you to hint that to me. You kidding me? Of course I want to see Ozzy and Manson.
And we
That would
love
be cool.
Pittsburgh.
And we fucking love Pittsburgh.
That'd be
Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's going to be such a good
oh
time.
my God, that's sick.
I'm going to drink my face off and hail Satan. I can't wait.
I'm going to eat so many slopes.
Oh my God.
I want to go to Fathead so bad.
Yes.
If you are in Pittsburgh or if you are near Pittsburgh and you are not at Fatheads right
If you're
now,
not near Pittsburgh, get to Pittsburgh
get
and
to
go
Pittsburgh
to Fatheads.
and go to Fatheads and get a fucking slope.
oh,
This sandwich,
the
it's
slope.
called Fatheads because the sandwiches are as big as your
Uh-huh.
head. And this slope, it is this giant fuck off sandwich, and it has sauerkraut, it has pierogies, it has kielbasa on it. They make their own house made chips. They have like their own brewery and stuff like that. It's so fucking good.
I thought you were gonna inhale a bunch of because when you said slopes, that was
expect
funny.
this from me.
Huh?
I expect this shit from me.
I'm sorry, you were just miming stuff
it,
at me
stop it.
before I said
Stop it.
anything.
Pat can't see what I was doing.
Pat can't see what you were doing, but I'm gonna say it. But no, yeah, that's no. But still, when you said, I was like, wait a minute, what? So, but that was.
That's why you were looking
big
at
thing.
me with
Yeah, like,
childlike glee.
I was
You
like,
know, she
wow.
could have been talking about like.
No,
All right.
not in Pittsburgh.
No, definitely not there.
okay.
Did you just text Pat?
None of your business.
Mm.
But it's not like you were talking about a sandwich, and then I said how that's used as a term for. So it's not like we're using it as a term towards. I'm gonna shut up now.
You know you're doing real fucking well.
Eat this
Anyway.
oatmeal cream pie.
Oh my God.
You did text Pat.
I did. Okay. Texas Chainsaw Massacre's reboot landed. Hang on.
Oh my
Okay.
God, I love doing this show.
I'm telling Pat. Just
You're like the
telling you
snitch.
guys.
You're like the
I
house
am.
snitch.
I have to
That's
be.
awesome. You're the tattletailer.
Oh my God. Yeah, one of us has to keep us fucking.
You're right. You're right.
Ugh.
Yeah. Somebody's got to rein us in.
All right, let me try this again. Texas Chainsaw Massacre's reboot landed newcomer screenwriter Chris Thomas Devlin. Fingers crossed as Fede Alvarez is set to sit in the director's chair that hiring somebody so green isn't a mistake.
What?
Fede Alvarez isn't directing it. He's producing it.
Oh, he's producing it.
He's producing it. He's not directing it.
Thank you for that. I apologize, everyone.
Fede Alvarez is actually going to make a movie that's being described. It's an untitled horror movie right now. It's being described as The Shining in the White House. Yes.
Yeah, so he's directing The Shining in the White House,
Yes.
but he's not directing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot. He's producing it?
Yes.
Is this his first producing credit?
No clue.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't think he's produced anything before.
I mean, maybe he has,
so
but
this
nothing
is
of any nothing noteworthy.
All right, I'm gonna go off and say that I'm predicting that the Texas Chainsaw reboot is not gonna be good.
It's not a reboot. It's a continuation of the 1974 original.
I'm reading reboot. That's everything.
I don't know what you're reading.
Arrow in the head and Bloody Disgusting.
Yeah, no. From what I read that it's jumping on the bandwagon with Halloween and everything else, and Terminator Dark Fate and all that, where it's a sequel to the original.
I don't like the idea of having a screenwriter his first project being something like this.
I agree,
because then you have studio executives and everyone else jumping in, looking over his shoulder and saying, "No, change this. No, we're changing this."
Yeah,
and he's not going to have the gumption, the balls to stand, or the freedom to stand up and say, "No, this is the movie I'm writing. This is what it's going to be." That happened to what's his nuts with Alien 3. Help me out, Neil. Not Neil Blomkamp.
Was it David Fincher?
The guy that did Fight Club.
David Fincher.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Neil Patrick Harris.
That was his. Alien 3 was his first film, and he got bullied into completely changing the script.
Yeah, but I mean, was Ridley Scott one of the producers? Probably not.
I don't remember.
Well, we got Fede Alvarez, and Fede Alvarez is. I mean, so far everything he's done with Evil Dead and Don't Breathe and stuff, he's done really well. So I'm sure he'll course correct.
Somewhere will be, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have Jane Levy in either of these movies?
That would be nice.
That would be great.
Yeah, I like her.
I do like her a lot. That's all I have on that.
Oh, okay. You sounded like you're gonna say something
no,
else.
no, that was it.
I just as I said, just let it die. Let it die.
Just let it die.
Just let it die.
Unfortunately, it's not going to die.
I know.
Unfortunately, the trend, again, started by Halloween 2018.
I know.
It's going to continue.
I know, but you know what? Sometimes that is better. Pat, I love you. Do a shot. Okay. Regal announced Gremlins in 4DX December 6th through December 11th. That's super fucking exciting.
Man.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Oh, God.
Loves me some Gremlins.
You're not into that?
Huh?
You're not into that?
I am into it, but there's only 2 4DX theaters in the United States.
Yeah.
There's one in Los Angeles and there's one in New York City.
Okay, I put down 4DX acting like I knew what the fuck I was talking about. I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
What is it?
It's literally a theater where it's like an amusement park ride where, if there's tires screeching, you get to smell the sulfur. If it starts raining, you get sprayed on. If it, it's 4DX.
That's like that John Goodman movie.
It is like that. Yeah. It's
fuck was that movie
basically like
called?
if you go on one of those rides, like I don't know if you've ever been to Universal Studios, they got like the Spider-Man ride where you're in it and
reality
you're
and
in
moves,
there,
but
you're in the movie, you're basically in the movie with people. Like if you're in a car, like if there's a car chase, the seat rumbles and moves back and forth, like shit like that.
That's
what 4DX
I'd rather
is.
like sit front row at a Gallagher show.
Under no
Jesus Christ,
circumstances do I go into a movie wanting them to fucking spray me with anything. Like, do not.
I mean, if you know what's gonna, what it entails.
This isn't a fucking Guar show. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, it's not piss.
You don't know
or
that.
blood.
You don't know that.
I thought 4DX was that thing that the Galleria Mall has.
The Galleria Mall has RPX.
RPX,
which basically RPX is the Galleria Regal's version of the IMAX screen, where it's almost as big as an IMAX screen. Where the IMAX is 8 stories high, this one's, I don't know, like 4 stories or 5 stories
Okay,
high.
so there's just 2 places in the country that's playing
There's
Gremlins
2 places in the United States that do like the 4DX type deal, which is, again, There's a movie theater in New York City, and there's a movie theater in Los Angeles.
Well, if any of you are closer to any of those, let us fucking know how it is.
But hey, June 6th.
That should be cool, because then that means it snows there and shit runs. And you know what? You probably get some water thrown on you.
Well then, fuck it. I'm
See?
out anyway.
Why,
I'd
so
be
you
all
can
for it.
fucking multiply? I don't think so.
That'd be cool.
Ew, when Gizmo's eating that chicken, I should taste it.
They'll throw you some drumsticks.
Mm-hmm.
I should taste it. The snow bears taste like
smells like
snow
KFC in
bears.
here.
Why is there? There's chicken tastings in my mouth.
If they could somehow put, nothing I say is gonna sound right, so I'm just gonna leave this alone. All right, so that's it for the news.
That's it for the news.
Why are you going through your? I said I read it all.
Oh, yeah, you did. You did. I don't know. I felt like I had more, but I guess I didn't. All right. 1989. Good year.
Good year. If you ask my father, it's the year he had knee surgery.
It is the year your father had his knee replaced.
Nothing else
That's great.
happened
Nothing
that
else
year.
of any
Nope.
kind of significance. But a little couple tidbits about 1989. The Sony Walkman was $79 in 1989.
Wow.
Could you imagine spending that much money on
Well, how much
something
is
you
that
attach?
now?
Oh, fuck, they don't even sell them. Or no, they do. They brought the Sony Walkman back because of all these fucking hipsters and people like Peter. The electric slide, it was the hottest dance craze of the time, 1989, which the electric slide, fun fact, is about a vibrator. Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie.
I did not even know that.
Also,
You did
I
it?
had to look because I was curious. If adjusted for inflation, that means that a Walkman in today's money would have been $164.71
Jesus
That is, pretty expensive.
Christ.
for a Walkman.
For a
That's
Walkman.
amazing.
The Walkmans were cool back in the
Walkmans
day.
were
super
so cool.
Oh my god, I had
And
a
then
green
the Sony
clear
Walkmans,
one.
and they had those yellow ones, which are the big ones.
Yeah.
Oh, the yellow ones were. I never had a yellow one. I had I had one of the big black bulky square ones.
Mhm.
Then I upgraded to one of those like smoother, rounder, like kind of smooth the edges, and it had like a gunmetal gray. Yeah, and
I
it had the
a-
super bass switch.
Oh yeah. What
Yep.
did that ever do?
It just, yeah.
Did it
just-
though?
It
Did
was like
It
tingy. It was
slightly.
tingy, and then it just
Slightly.
went to
Did you say tingy?
He says it all. He says
tingy,
tingy.
Tingy?
tingy.
Tingy?
Trouble, a lot of trouble,
Oh, trouble.
a lot of trouble. No bass, no
Mine
trouble.
was lime green and clear see-through plastic, and the first tape I put in it that I remember putting in it was Mariah Carey Dream Lover.
Vanilla Ice to the extreme.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Eugene.
It takes two.
Nice. In 1989, Boris Yeltsin walked into a Randall's supermarket in Texas, looked at the variety of food, and immediately regretted what communism had done, saying, "What have we done to our poor people?" 1989, Ted Bundy was executed,
Yes, he
and
was.
then you were born.
Mm-hmm.
The Cosby
Which, real quick, if anyone
Oh.
has access to the fucking pins that they were handing out in Florida at his execution, please, I will sell you my firstborn. I need one so badly.
She'll show you her boobs.
Actually, I probably would.
There we go.
Wow.
There we go,
Probably
guys.
would. I need one
Find
of those
one.
fucking pins.
Shit, yeah, guys, if you're listening, because I failed, because this was actually going to be something I was going to try to. They're like, I cannot
No.
find any. Of those.
I know. I tried.
They're
I
out-
can't.
they're
They
out
are.
there
They have to
somewhere.
be.
They were probably selling them for like $2 at the time
Oh,
too.
I know.
So it was just like enamel electric chair pin,
It was like a pin, and it like hang on.
because his execution was like a party.
Yeah.
Like
oh my
everybody,
God,
everyone
people
was everyone was
tailgated.
tailgating. There was fireworks. It was like fucking nuts. Yeah. So Ted Bundy was executed. The Cosby Show was the most popular series. Eggs were 79 cents by a dozen. Dream Child, Jason Takes Manhattan, and Halloween 5, they all bombed in the box offices, killing the slasher genre. And David Hasselhoff, he single-handedly brought down the Berlin Wall and put an end to the Cold War.
That's right.
That's fucking right.
All David Hasselhoff.
All
Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff.
We thank you for your service.
Yeah. So now, let's talk about our picks. Let it out. Let it out.
Sorry.
Let that yawn out. That's just weakness leaving you.
Guys, I'm on 45 minutes of sleep.
But you're doing
That's
great.
Awesome.
My day started 12, 13 hours. 15 hours ago. 16 hours ago. Jesus.
And counting.
I'm going to die. Who's going first?
I was actually going to talk about the movie Communion with Christopher Walken that Ridley Schreiber made. It was based on his life. Ridley Schreiber was a writer that he would go off into the woods in his own little cabin there, and he started to have a series of strange events happen to him where he was being abducted by aliens. But he was encountered with all different types of alien species, the tall whites, the grays, at one point, mantis people. Well, the movie, and not just that, these events ruined his life. He became absolutely insane. He wrote this book based on himself called Communion, and it was turned into a movie where Christopher Walken played him. Eugene, do you remember this film?
Yeah.
Wait, all that stuff you said wasn't part of the movie?
It is part of the movie.
Okay.
But this is all stuff that happened to him.
Okay.
Or that he claims.
Happened.
You know how I feel about this stuff. Especially when he talks about like the different species and stuff that he encountered. But this movie is bananas. It's one of Christopher Walken's over-the-top performances, where eventually at one point he's dancing with all of the aliens in a spaceship. He's wearing a fedora. He's doing his, hey, look, I can't do a good Walken. Guys, how you doing? Put a probe up my ass.
Jesus.
Let's dance a little about it, huh? And he's just like dancing with all the. It looks like something out of like the Labyrinth, but Christopher Walken dancing. So, I would suggest maybe not even watching the movie Communion. This movie scared the shit out of me when I was little, by the way, because I am terrified of this shit like that.
Aliens?
Oh yeah, abduction, all that shit. Oh. Yeah, there's something about it. It just fucking scares the shit out of me.
Interesting.
Plus, like the tall whites, they're tall, they're long, they have long fingers, they're lanky, and they have those big heads with the big fucking eyeballs.
Yeah. You don't like gangly stuff.
There's what's that?
So you don't like gangly stuff.
I do not at all. But I can't really get into it so much because I haven't watched Communion in forever and I couldn't find it. I just watched like a few clips and one of them was the dancing one. So I would say, listeners, if you don't remember this movie, just YouTube search Communion and watch Christopher Walken dancing with aliens. And there's actually one video where they dubbed David Bowie's Let's Dance over top of it. So I decided to go.
Sounds like a solid use of your time.
There was this one time I lost 3 hours of my life watching pimple popper videos. So watching Christopher Walken dance for a few minutes, I think is a great use of your time.
This is you.
This is totally me. Everyone.
And then after you watch that video, make sure you turn and watch Christopher Walken dancing in the video of Weapon of Choice.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoy that a lot.
I love that video.
Plus the song's good. So I went a different route. I picked a movie that I've never watched before. I was thinking of all these other films that came out in '89. '89 was a great year for horror. But like I mentioned earlier, it did kill. '89 was the end of the slasher era. And it didn't come back until Scream.
I wouldn't say a lot of great movies came out in '89.
In '89?
The Burbs.
No, it was
The
like
Burbs came
it was
out
the
in
end of the
89.
era. It was actually.
Yeah.
It was nothing good came out. Nothing really good. Nothing.
87 and 88, 86, 87, 88 were really fucking solid.
Well, 88 was very
89.
solid, which is why I have that huge back tattoo.
Yes.
It's all the slashers from 1988.
Yeah, that's true.
89 knew that it couldn't compete with my birth, so it decided to just
shit the
lay
bed.
low. It did.
But yeah, the slasher genre completely came to a halt with Jason Takes Manhattan, Halloween 5, and then Dream Child.
Yep.
Especially that fucking Dream Child movie.
Dream Child.
Good God. Good God. That was so bad. Hoo-wee, Rick. So I found a movie starring Lance Henriksen, which was produced by Sean Cunningham, called The Horror Show.
Oh my God.
I am so glad you watched this movie because I hate talking about a film that you didn't see. So this is so much better for me.
Well, time for me to change movies.
No.
There's no fucking way. There's
neither
no
you two
fucking way.
watched Horror Show.
Guys,
Max Jenke,
wait.
Brian James starring the
Then
only
let's
movie
talk
he
about
starred
it.
in it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Guys.
No, I'll chime in while you talk about it.
We have talked about this for so long. This is the first, like we've had it in like groups of movies where when everybody picks a bunch. Then
Yeah.
that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one movie, and you guys picked the same one.
How funny.
And
How
like,
funny.
why this one?
Why
Huh?
this
Why this one?
Because the way I see it, I normally when you get and when we pick like subjects that we're going to talk about, movies and such, I always figured you guys are going to go for
The obvious?
the obvious movies that everybody knows, maybe not so well known, but still kind of out there that people
Yeah.
know in the horror community. So I pride myself in picking movies that I know for a fact that a lot of people have not seen or heard of. So that's why when we pick like 89, I was like, you know what? Horror show, I know for a fact neither of them have watched it, and not a lot of people have watched it. So that's why I picked it. But that's all right. I got another one as a backup just in case.
All right.
All right. Was your backup communion?
No, it wasn't communion.
Wait, what's your
That's
backup?
funny. Huh?
What's your backup?
It's
976 Evil.
Okay.
I-
You're so lucky because I almost grabbed
We-
that one.
Yeah,
Jesus
we,
Christ.
I literally almost grabbed that one.
We almost
All
watched
right,
that
well, you know what?
yesterday.
Fuck
No,
that.
no,
All
don't
right.
worry. We did. So you're good there.
I mean, I got a third one too, just in case.
What's your
I
third
got
one?
Shocker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so-
which I actually I'm
That's
so
hysterical.
glad you brought that up because Shocker and the horror show came out in the same year, and it's kind of
we're
close.
talking about 89. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of close in I mean it came
Kind
out in
of.
89. It's very close, and there was
Kind of.
another one that came out in 87, and the title slips my mind. That's very
What, a similar plot?
you know, death row, dies, comes back
Yeah.
in like kind of like a different form, whatever. It came out in 87. For the life of me, I cannot remember that movie.
That's
Prison.
funny.
1987 Prison.
Oh, okay.
It was Prison, and then 88 was a movie called Destroyer. Kind of the same concept. I've never seen Destroyer. Did you see Destroyer?
No.
And then of course Shocker.
Yeah.
Which Shocker is a superior movie to this.
Well, I mean, it's Wes Craven. Peter Berg's in it. Mitch Pileggi. That was like his first like starring role. He ended up being he played Skinner on the X-Files, the TV show.
He
So he's,
never ages.
No, he looks exactly the same. He was just recently in some movie, and I was like, this motherfucker looks exactly the same. He had like a gray beard, but other than that,
The gray beard looks great on him.
he's always been bald.
Yeah. Always, he's been bald since birth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He looks like, yeah, you're right. He looks like he hasn't aged. He has some gray hair here and
always-
there, but that's it.
He always looks like he's stuck at 45.
Yeah.
Just always 45. Of course,
Yep.
now maybe about 50, but like
Yeah, no.
he's boom.
He's still in pretty good
always
shape. He's
45.
still-
great.
yeah,
He was in
yeah.
deceivingly great shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always like that when you see like an actor who wears suits. He's always fully clothed,
Yes.
and then out of nowhere you see him in something or in a
Like
scene
one
where
shirtless scene or something.
you spot like traps. Traps are a great
Yeah.
sign of strength.
Yep.
And I remember I was like, whoa, holy shit, this dude's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So deceivingly big guy. Probably played football in college or whatever.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. So the horror show was originally supposed to be a continuation of the House series. Of
Yep.
course, you had House and then House 2, which is a real fun movie.
Yep.
This was supposed to be House 3, but according to Sean Cunningham, the film was going to be named House 3, but the new distributor MGM, they wanted a fresh start with potential with a new franchise.
Yep.
I can see why this movie didn't really spring any sequels.
Mm-hmm.
It
sucks.
Would you say?
I like Brian James. I've always liked Brian James as an actor, and a lot of stuff that he's been in. He was obviously this was like his first and I think only starring
where
role.
he was the main guy.
Where he was like the main
He's
guy. He
always
was the villain.
he's always been the backup.
I mean,
Backup, a villain, a supporting character in The Fifth Element.
I mean, go on a limb here and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this Lance Henriksen's only starring role in a movie? Also, starring. I mean, you could say that both of them were maybe like because they were both on the same tier in terms of
Pumpkinhead.
Huh?
Pumpkinhead.
Okay, yeah, Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, he's
okay,
the star
I see
of that. I mean, obviously he was Bishop. He was supporting.
Yeah, that's supporting. That's what I'm saying.
He's in
You
a
know,
lot of
Near
shit.
Dark. He
He's
was part of an
New York, he was-
ensemble.
yeah.
You know, it's just
but I guess 100% focused on him. Then
Yeah.
I would say that this is it.
yeah, because the only other thing I mean, he was a star of that the TV show, the spinoff from the X-Files, Millennium.
Millennium
He
was
was
phenomenal.
he was a star of that. but
Millennium was so good. I actually want to go back and
think
rewatch
of
that.
any movie that he was in where he was the star. Like, I mean, he shared it with Brian James, and Brian James, they tried to, you know, they like you said, they tried to jumpstart a franchise with him and try to make him like the next Freddy Krueger or some shit, and it just didn't work.
They gave him okay, so real quick, let's fill you in that haven't actually watched the movie. The horror show is Lance Henriksen. He plays a detective named Lucas. I forgot his last name, but it's him and his partner. They have a track on a serial killer. Max Janke, who's played by Brian James. For those of you who don't really know who Brian James is, he was in the opening scene of Blade Runner. That's honestly, I think that's the best description you could go with him. If you don't know who, he's in that. He's in an episode of Tales from a Crypt, the Lumberjack episode, where he's married to Demi Moore.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. No. He's
Oh no, that wasn't Demi Moore.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Demi Moore episode was with Jeffrey Tambor.
Yeah. I apologize. But yeah, he's in the Lumberjack episode. He's the bad guy that gets sawed in half. So he plays Max Janke, who's a serial killer. They have the lead on him. Lance Henriksen's walking through the kitchen, and this is cool, where he's going through and he finds like a hand in a deep fryer, a head in a pot of boiling water, and that kind of set the tone for the movie. Like, holy shit, this movie's actually gonna be pretty fucking gory. He holds a little girl hostage. He lobs her head off with a meat cleaver and throws it at him.
Yep.
What a great introduction to this character.
Yep.
It showed you that this guy doesn't give a fuck.
Yep.
Yeah, he will chop a little girl's head off.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but the look he had though was obviously, he always had like the thinning hair with the ponytail, but like the pencil thin mustache goatee combo,
and then that laugh.
I can't even fucking do it. It was like a goat.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, was that even his voice?
That was his voice, yeah.
Oh my God, how did he do that?
I don't know. But I remember seeing an interview with him. I don't know if it was on MTV or something, because they touted this like huge when it first came out. Like it got all sorts of marketing. Like it was crazy. Like they wanted to make this like into like the next big franchise and make him into like the next big slasher.
Now they were going like a Freddy Krueger route.
Yes.
With this. Yeah, but so they really were. They were really pushing this movie.
Yeah, they were pushing it.
I don't remember this film.
Wow.
I don't remember this movie.
Yeah, I remember this movie.
I was really.
Yeah.
So it had TV spots?
Yeah.
No shit.
It had
What
TV
a shame.
spots.
What a shame.
He was like a guest on like talk shows and shit. Like they were in the in Fangoria magazine. They did a big thing on it. I don't know if it was Fangoria or one of like the late night horror hosts like had him on a show, and just he was making the rounds. He was making convention rounds and stuff. And yeah, they tried hard, and he was talking about how like he came up with the character and the mannerisms and the laugh and all that, and he was psyched about it.
He was always a step ahead in the movie. He was obviously a serial killer, but also he had that whole mastermind thing going on behind him. Lance Henriksen ends up arresting him. He's on death row. Lance Henriksen goes. The detective Lucas visits him, makes sure like he watches the whole execution and everything. Fries him. Doesn't work. He pops up and he's like, what do you say? Like, that got me hard.
Yeah.
At this point is when Horror Delilah fell asleep on the couch.
Damn.
No, honey, I fell asleep way sooner than that.
She fell asleep during the opening
credits.
Credits.
Yeah.
She fell asleep during the trailers before the movie.
Yeah. I watched this whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I slept for an hour and a half, and then I was up the rest of the night until
shit.
About 3 o'clock a.m.
Ooh.
And my alarm went off at 3:45. It was great.
Where'd you find the movie?
On Amazon?
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
It's on Prime for free?
Yeah.
Yes.
No shit.
Yes,
I
it
didn't know
is
that.
streaming on Amazon Prime.
Nice.
Grainy as shit. Looks like you're watching on VHS.
That's all right.
No, it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's part of the allure.
Yeah, which actually, a little side note, over the weekend, we watched the second half of Titanic on VHS, Spice World on VHS, and then topped it off with Signs on VHS.
He did.
That is amazing.
The cabin that we stayed at had a VHS player and a lot of VHS. So, but actually,
awesome.
The Titanic only had the second VHS.
That's why
so
we only watched the second.
The first one was MIA. We're not 100%
I
sure.
don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Other people.
Now, did that have the
That's the
nude
one that
scene?
has the nude scene.
The nude
Someone
scene?
took it.
Paint me
Oh
like one of
my
your women.
God.
Yes.
Oh, man. Do you think they're like strong Christian moral people that were like, we have to take this smut and destroy it?
No,
No,
or
I think
some
someone took
kid
it. It's
took it.
cranking
Took
into
it.
It is, yeah.
Oh my
Just
God.
yanking their
yeah.
crank, doing the knuckle shuffle.
Spice World, not good.
Spice World is awesome.
When was the last time you watched
When was
it?
the last time you watched it?
It's been a while.
Okay.
It's been a long while.
Watch it again.
There's literally
It's super cheesy.
no
It's
plot.
awful. Yeah.
It's not even. Yeah.
But it's awfully good.
It's-
Meatloaf is in it.
He is, and we've.
He was the best part.
MK actually said that multiple times.
Yes, that was
One
her.
of my friends, Sally Boy, was
she's-
just like, Meatloaf.
She's yelling in
Meatloaf
the
is
other
in
room.
it.
Everyone else is like drinking, playing cards, having a good time.
Yeah.
And her friend's just like, no, guys, get over here. Trust me. Meatloaf's in it. Like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I love Spice World.
Oh, it was fucking great. I have no regrets watching it.
It's
But
so cheesy.
like I
It's
was watching it the entire time.
so good.
Of course, I'm judging it, and we were running this podcast, and it was shit fuck horror movies. But like I'm watching this, and I'm like, what is going on? Like it was just, it just made no sense. There was
Yeah, it was bad.
There was
It
no
was
plot.
bad.
Like it's not like when movies have like a bad plot, as
Yeah.
we discussed
Yeah.
last week. We're just like, oh, there's no plot to it. Like
There's literally no plot.
It's
Yeah.
just like a day in the life of the Spice Girls, except there's aliens involved.
There's aliens, and then they have like a pregnant friend.
Yeah.
And
then,
Meatloaf is in it.
And Meatloaf's in it. Elton John's in there. They slap Elton John's ass at one
They
point.
do.
And I forgot that I had a huge crush on Ginger.
You did?
Yeah, Ginger
like
and
Ginger?
Scary.
I've never forgotten my crush on Ginger.
Hmm?
I've never forgotten my crush on Ginger.
Well, I
Follow
mean,
the
it was
trend
always there, but then like it was like, well, all right, yeah.
I'll take Ginger and Baby. I can do without Scary, and I
Oh,
can
I
do without
like Scary.
Sporty.
Baby was always one that annoyed me the most.
That's fine.
I could see that. Sporty annoyed me.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked
She had that
Sporty.
one gold tooth that just skeeved me out.
I had Sporty Spice, the Spice Girl doll. I had her and Scary. Carrie had Posh and Baby. And neither of us had Ginger 'cause she was like super
I
rare.
don't think anybody wanted Posh.
I don't care. My little sister.
David
Well,
wanted
David Beckham did.
David Beckham did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
horror show.
special.
I was gonna say, what the hell?
There's a bunch of grown ass men listening to us right now. Like, what the
Going,
fuck
what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, I thought this was a horror podcast.
No, but you know what? Mullen
This
will
is gonna be. I was gonna
appreciate
say this is gonna be the point where your manservant turns it off now.
No.
It's like fucking Spice Girls. Fuck this shit.
No, he loves that.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna turn it up.
Oh,
He's
okay.
gonna
ears
turn
are-
it off now because we're done talking
Yeah.
about Spice
All
Girls.
right, I gotta go back on the horror show.
He's got to go back find his Titanic VHS tape.
So Max Jenke, he gets zapped, pops up, they fry him again, he's on fire, he breaks out of the shackles, walks towards Lance Henriksen. Lance Henriksen doesn't shoot him, right? He just collapses. Yeah. But this is the whole, his essence transports from the prison where he's electrocuted all the way to Lucas's house with his family into the furnace. And his spirit is hiding in the furnace.
Yeah.
So he didn't travel through any power
Electrical
lines or
currents or
anything. He
anything, yeah.
just went to the furnace. And that's, of course, where Lance Henriksen starts losing his mind. Like, what the fuck is going on in my house? His daughter's boyfriend gets murdered in the base. That's the part that, like, so this killer, he can manifest himself into his mortal form, I guess. Yeah. And kill people.
Yeah.
Right? Which,
Without any rhyme or reason.
without any rhyme or reason, no.
or any
no.
explanation why.
No, but the furnace, that's where I kind of get like that Nightmare on Elm Street feel for it.
Yeah.
Where the furnace keeps spitting out fire. The furnace is talking to Lance Henriksen. Lance Henriksen screaming at the furnace. Was my favorite scene of the movie. Just screaming at it. Which that was like a big meltdown. That was like a Christopher Walken, Nicolas Cage meltdown, but Lance Henriksen, which I've never seen Lance Henriksen actually do.
Yeah.
Not like that. He's always cool as a cucumber.
Yeah. He's a very subdued actor.
Yeah. So yeah, he pulled a lot out there. Now, a lot of gore in this movie. Holy shit, man. The kills are great. There's a scene where Lance Henriksen gets a meat cleaver to the chest, which is just like kind of like a vision thing, like a nightmare, whatever. But apparently they cut a lot out of the movie to because of like the MPAA thing.
Oh,
It was going to get an X rating. I guess
Fucking MPAA.
I guess Max
Bitches ain't shit.
Max Jenke actually does rape the daughter and rape the mother. They completely cut that. They just kind of hinted towards it.
That's fine by me.
Yeah. No. Yeah. But there's another scene where I guess Lance Henriksen, he's up against the wall and they use that Nightmare on Elm Street 2 Freddy Revenge gag where it's just his head and his a different body. he opens his chest up, opens up his rib cage to reveal his heart, and his heart's beating. And I guess that scene was just too intense.
That got cut, but it was funny though when they did an article on the movie. Fangoria used to do that a lot, where they would show stills from a movie for certain scenes, and then when you watch the movie, it's not even there. And I remember seeing that picture in the magazine.
Yeah, they're saying the film was heavily cut just to make an RR rating.
Yeah.
There's a part where the daughter's dead boyfriend is being torn in half. They cut that. Blood is supposedly there's a scene where blood's coming out of a birthday cake. They cut that, which doesn't sound bad.
Well, I mean, maybe it was bad for 1989.
Yeah.
The year that Whore Delilah had 2 birthdays.
I was born, and then I was born again.
You were born again.
Hey, people do that shit all the fucking time.
You're right. You're right. Christ did that.
He did.
There we go.
I'm basically Jesus.
Pretty much.
Basically a born again Christian.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's
There
right.
we go.
Yes.
I'm officially better than everyone in the room.
And this is now
I have done
officially.
no wrong
Nope.
at all.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
Ow.
Which is me, because I'm reborn. So fuck off.
So you're just throwing stones at bitches left and right.
That's
right.
it. Take
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Take that.
I'm without sin. You're just throwing bricks at fucking people's head. Okay, so back on this. The movie, the ending is pretty wild. I don't really want to give too much away unless you do, Eugene.
Nope.
Yeah, the ending is really
don't want
wild.
to give any 30-year-old spoilers out. Eh?
No, because I actually want people to go and watch this because
Okay.
the ending is fucking nuts. It's actually really fucking
Okay,
bananas.
the rule is though you have to eat cake when you watch it.
You
for my
do.
birthday.
You do. It
think of
currently
me.
holds a 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's crazy.
Let me say that again. 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So, our loyal listeners, I would like you to go on Rotten Tomatoes and turn that 0% into a 5%.
To a 5.
Yeah, turn it into a 5%.
You think we have that many fans?
Yeah, no.
to make
we'll
it
get
5%?
a solid 2.5, maybe 3%.
Hey.
And that's being highly optimistic.
Kane Hodder was the stunt double for
Brian James.
yes. Yeah, he was the stunt double for Brian James. So
Brian
Kane
James is a
Hodder,
pretty big dude.
Kane Hodder had a good year with Jason Takes Manhattan and the credit for this movie. Also, Aaron Eisenberg, who plays Lance Henriksen's son in that, he died this year.
Oh,
He was he wasn't Worf. Who was that little fucked up thing from? He was Nog from Star Trek Deep Space Nine with the big ears.
Nog. He was a Ferengi.
Yeah, what are they called?
Ferengi.
Ferengi. Yeah. So he died this year of heart
Jesus Christ,
failure.
I'm
He
such
was
a geek.
50. Yeah. Jesus
Uh-huh.
Christ.
I was,
that's
I was
awesome.
thinking that, and then I was thinking about you saying how nerds don't get laid, as you were saying.
I'm
that.
just glad that I look the way I look. I'll just say that.
Cat, you're a saint.
Because I would not be getting any ass
Nope.
for knowing what I know.
So Eugene, thanks for letting me know that this was actually meant to be like a big franchise, but it just never
Yeah.
took off.
Yep.
I'm
never
sure
took off.
MGM probably just put the kibosh to any sequels, huh?
Yeah, I don't think the movie even did well, honestly, to tell you the truth.
0% on Rotten Tomatoes tells me that.
Yeah,
no,
so
it
it
didn't.
didn't
And I
do
didn't
well
even.
at all. It had a low, like not a lot of people. I don't even think honestly it was in the theaters that long. I remember the movie poster too, vividly too. It was like washed over in like a purplish light, and it was like the electric chair with like his silhouette in the background laughing. That's not it.
That's not it. That looks
Nope.
cool though.
That's from the VHS tape.
Oh, nice, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
but I remember the movie poster because I remember I went to go see it at the movies, but it didn't last too long in the movies.
He had quite the personality.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him. I enjoyed Lance. Everyone else, not so much. It's your typical 80s horror flick. Really
Lance
shitty acting.
Henriksen is a fucking horror icon, so
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah.
And Brian James is, forever be relegated to, was relegated to just like secondary and third tier roles.
Yeah.
He passed away maybe like
1999.
okay, yeah,
20 years.
20 years ago.
Yep. Yeah. Him and Lance.
It's literally about to say what a time to be alive, but like he's not.
Wah, wah, wah.
There is also a fantastic cringeworthy scene that reminded me of my childhood, where Lance Hendricks' son, he's a little rocker and he's rocking out to in a no-name band in his bedroom, and I was having like, because he's kind of chunky in it, and I was having like fucking flashbacks to my childhood, standing on my bed with a fake microphone, fucking rocking out. Being all chunky. I put on. Yeah, I would put on like my aunt's boots, and I would stand on a bed with a fake microphone, and I would play Quiet Riot Mental Health, and have like my own concerts in front of like my teddy bears and stuff. I didn't have friends.
Yeah.
But anyways,
we have friends now.
I
aside from me and Horror Delilah,
they're
Not
around.
a friend. I have to be here.
Yeah.
You're here by obligation.
Yeah.
But I give the horror show a thumbs up. I say fucking see it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, it sucks that all those scenes got cut out of it, because it probably would have made it 10 times better. But give it a look. See,
the thing that sucks is that I don't think this movie will ever really take off with a cult following.
No.
So we'll
it
never
won't.
get that Blu-ray with all the extra features or anything like that.
That'll never happen.
No. This one definitely slipped through the cracks of time.
Yeah.
Drew.
I was gonna say, what the hell?
All right, yeah. You do this thing where you talk and then you just stop.
You just stop.
Yeah.
I was giving
like
myself
we're on video.
And we're done.
No,
here.
I was giving myself a second thing, and I had a follow up, and then I realized I didn't.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You want me to take it?
Take it, babe.
All right. So I decided to throw. Well, I mean, you mentioned it before. I threw a little curveball, but I picked The Burbs. I fucking love this movie. First off, it's so. It is the best because it's like growing up. I mean, you know the street I grew up on. Like, it's just so suburban, and like it plays on like the nosy neighbor trope, but like takes it to an extreme, and it's my favorite because I'm again growing up on this street. Just like the neighbors were always just like, well, what's this person doing? What's that person doing? It's like, fuck off, bro. Like that, but it's this movie. But it has the horror twist, which makes it so much better.
Yeah, my mother would stare out the window at the neighbors with the blinds, like just like the opening the blinds with her fingers, and just make up scenarios in her head of, yeah, I've had a very paranoid mother.
She was something. So, yeah, this one, Joe Dante directed it. Obviously, it stars, as we all know, Tom Hanks, Bruce Dern, Carrie Fisher, may she rest in peace, Corey Feldman, Wendy Shaw, Henry Gibson. He's a little old man that played Dr. Werner Klopek.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, just boring suburban cul-de-sac, and a new family moves in. So obviously, everyone's super nosy and trying to figure out what's going on. They're a little creepy. So obviously, the neighbors are convinced that they're like murderers. So basically, it's, what is it, Labor Day weekend?
It's one of those,
or like 4th of July week. It's like a summer holiday.
Yeah, it's one of those picnic time week. Yeah, where the neighbors get together. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, no. This one was because they were supposed to leave for the week.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher is Tom Hanks's wife in the movie, and they also have just a son or daughter, just a kid, but and so they're trying to leave for like the lake house and everything. And well, no, because Tom Hanks is just trying to enjoy his week vacation off. He has like nothing to do, and his neighbor keeps coming over and pestering him about the new neighbors. And he's just
that's the one that he passed away a couple years ago. What was his name? He's awesome.
Yeah, he was phenomenal.
He was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Yeah, because everyone has that like loud, boisterous neighbor that's like, it comes over with like a sixer, you know, hey, how you doing there, Steve? Did you catch the game last week? Like that kind of guy.
You know, I know this guy. I never knew his name. Rick Ducommun.
He's in a lot of shit.
He's in a lot.
He's one of those actors where like you see him and then like you don't know his name.
It's that guy.
Yeah, that fucking guy.
Yeah. No. Okay. But yeah. So he is every turn, like Tom Hanks will just be like sitting in his kitchen, just like at the table, and all of a sudden like he shows up at the window and scares the fuck out of him. And so they're just like spending the whole time being nosy pieces of shit, and then it ends up what they try to like go to. Oh no. So first one neighbor, he like leaves, and it's like the older guy. And so he, like, his mail's piling up and everything like that. And, like, because the guy went into his house and saw, like, his mail piling up. And something just happened to him. But he was convinced that the Klopeks killed him, the new neighbors. So they're all like sneaking around trying to get into these. At the time, you just think these poor people's house.
Yeah, that it's like all in their head. And,
Yeah, but like the amount of paranoia that like all the other neighbors get involved. The one guy who's like a super military army guy.
So
with like the hot wife.
The characters kind of remind me a little bit of King of the Hill.
Yes.
Because he would be like, what is it, Dale? The one that was all into conspiracies and stuff, and he had a hot wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Pretty much.
Right,
yeah.
right, Eugene?
Yeah. There was the old guy who like disappeared. He had the little dog who'd always shit on the guy's lawn. And then there's Art, the guy who keeps showing up at Tom Hanks' house, and then Tom Hanks is just kind of like the normal one trying to live his life. And then
because he wasn't buying any of this shit at first, right?
No, he wasn't. He was just like, just kind of getting away. And then he started to get a little bit into it, and then he'd pull back. And then Carrie Fisher took the kid. She's like, hey, we're going to the lake house, whatever. And Tom Hanks was supposed to like meet them there or something. He was just like taking an extra day to himself, and he was going to meet them there.
Yeah. And
so he decides to kind of indulge his friend and follow along with what he was doing. And honestly, one of my favorite parts of the movie is just the fact that Corey Feldman's always on his front porch with like friends, because like that was literally me and my friends when we were little.
Really?
Like, oh my god, all this stuff would be happening on the street. Adults would be fighting with each other, and we'd be like on my front, like my front porch was like the hangout spot.
Yeah, you were a stoop boy.
Yeah, we were stoop kids, and we'd all just be sitting there and just like, especially you remember my friend Ian growing up with that little shit. He would just be screaming at people. It was just. That was it. So it was just like Corey Feldman going, yeah, go get him, Mr. Like, it just, that was so funny. And, just like more people would be showing up on his porch. He'd have like beer and pizza and everything delivered. I'm like, I just love that so much. And so, fun fact about this that I did not know, and you guys will enjoy, where did it go? Oh, Walter's toy poodle, Queenie, the one that kept shitting on the whatever, played by the same dog that played Precious in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, don't you hurt my dog.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the street was shot on the Universal backlot. This one they use it for like a shit ton of shows and stuff like that. It was actually on Desperate Housewives, but the only house that hasn't changed at all is Walter's house.
Really?
Cool.
Yep, that's the only one on the street. I thought that was kind of neat. This movie is great because it has like, it's obviously a comedy, but it has like those little horror elements, like everything with the Klopex. When they finally get into the Klopex house and like
it turns into a horror movie.
They're just well, first they're just like pretending to be neighbors, like the wives are there and everything, and they're just like they're
German, right?
Yeah, something like yes, German, I believe so. And they're just super creepy, like weird people, and like everyone's trying to be cool and like neighborly and pretend to be friendly, but they're like, it's like the scenes where they'd walk over, the Klopex would like turn around and everybody be like rubbernecking into other rooms trying to see stuff going on.
You knew something was up when like he went next door and he was like, oh yes, guten Tag, we are new in the neighborhood, would you mind telling me, is there any in the neighborhood? Go on.
Jesus.
Where are we at?
Don't you dare text Pat this. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Nope.
Here, you can continue your review. I'll text Pat.
Thank you.
You guys.
I'll do it.
Oh my god, it wasn't me. It was the German neighbor.
Anyway. By the way, it's 1 minute and 14 seconds if you want to let Pat.
What is it?
1 minute and 14, or 1 hour and
1 hour and 14
minutes. Jesus,
1 hour and
sorry.
14 minutes, yes.
And also at the time the movie was being filmed, Corey Feldman and Michael Jackson were close friends.
Oh, they were close.
Yeah, well, while Jackson didn't visit the set, his famed chimpanzee Bubbles was a frequent guest and had to be confined to Feldman's trailer during filming.
So what the fuck did he just like Michael Jackson like get him a taxi cab and say, all right now, you go on hang out with Corey?
Even better.
What?
Feldman would return to his trailer to find that the chimp had spread feces around the interior. And
What
Joe
the
Dante
fuck?
had to ban Bubbles from the set.
That's
Oh my
funny.
god. What,
That's
so,
amazing.
okay, so Michael Jackson had this monkey and just like I don't understand
loaned
this.
him out, I guess.
This is that's unreal.
Yeah.
Go on now, Bubbles. Go play with Corey.
The screenwriter Dana Olson was inspired to write the film by a family in his own neighborhood who were hardly ever seen and never took care of their lawn. So it's like the quintessential that one neighbor out
Yeah.
of like, you know, like the perfectionist neighbors, whatever. There's that one house that's always their lawn is a little bit too long and they never come out, and so that's when the rumors start.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, God, I love suburb living just because of that.
That's Corey Feldman said the same thing.
I don't think he did.
He's like, man, I love this neighborhood or some shit. I don't know.
But so what did they find? They found something in the Klopex house that weirded them out and that made Tom Hanks want to stay and like indulge.
Investigate.
Actually, wasn't it a bone?
I was
I
gonna
was
say
about
it
to
was
say
bone.
bone.
It was
yeah.
a bone.
Yeah.
Because what's his name went into the basement.
Mhm.
Oh, I forgot. I already forgot the guy's name. His name's
The-
Art in the movie.
The military type guy.
No,
The
goofy-
fat
yeah,
neighbor. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
goofy
fat
guy.
single neighbor.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
He he didn't he like go into the basement and found the bones, and they were like, oh shit, and that's when they like basically just started an all-out assault on this poor house.
You know, I have another Holocaust reference here, but I'm not
Stop
even
it.
gonna. Yeah, exactly. I'm not even gonna do it because you two are just gonna fucking crucify me. Go on.
Yes, Micah, you poor white man. You're
Yes.
the one being crucified.
Yeah.
Imagine being a
Yeah.
straight white
It's
man.
hot. It's hot out there for the whites. No one
Yeah.
cares about the whites these
no
days.
one cares about the whites these
No one cares
days.
about the whites. Gotta say.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I just.
That's why I'm just sitting here with my arms up.
A white's gonna sit here and eat his oatmeal cream pie.
You good?
I'm great.
So one of the kids from the shitty cannibal family. Well, not really cannibal family,
Yeah.
but
The cloak.
weren't one of the kids the guy that plays Malachi in Children of the Corn?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Courtney Gaines, his name is.
Yeah, that David,
What a name.
a Dave Mustaine looking guy.
Yeah, he's not attractive, but also
He's been in a ton of shit though,
he has been.
especially in the '80s.
Also, a man named Courtney. I know I'm one to talk, but
Yeah.
like a man named Courtney.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't see that too often. Huh.
Yeah, you don't.
Huh.
Oh.
Really?
Do people call him Court for short?
Court for short. I would call him that entire thing. Court
That
for
would be
short.
that would be my opener.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just going through some of the plot. I love reading the IMDb's on here because they're great. Someone, Ray Peterson takes a week off from work to walk around in pajamas all day, read the newspaper, and lay low. However, Ray Peterson has some very peculiar neighbors. In fact, has no normal neighbors, but one neighbor in particular is especially strange. Therefore, Ray Peterson and the other neighbors decide to investigate what's wrong with the Klopex, and the relaxing week off from work becomes far from relaxing. It's great because it has like, you know, it has the paranoid neighbors, like the way that they set up the dynamic. It's just like, okay, these people are fucking nuts. Like, this is too creepy to the point where like this can't be a thing. And then it becomes a fucking thing where they're just like, oh shit, these people do have something going on. And it's actually, this was also a good one. That scene where Tom Hanks, like, he calls himself crazy, throws himself on the stretcher and everything like that. He improvised that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
He's so good. I mean,
I love comedic Tom Hanks.
Oh my god, I love all Tom Hankses.
I love all Tom Hanks.
But you're
too,
right, comedic Tom
but
Hankses.
80s comedic Tom Hanks
Oh.
is my favorite.
I will take 80s comedic Tom Hanks over I may not be a smart man, Johnny, but like any day. I love the 80s Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Oh, Money
After
Pit.
Bosom Buddies and before Philadelphia.
Okay, all right.
That's Tom Hanks that I
I
love.
respect that timeline.
Bachelor
like-
Party.
It's like
yeah.
finding the
I love
perfect
Bachelor
time
Party.
to eat the banana while it's ripe.
The
Like,
good
that's
time.
your-
Yeah,
your
yeah.
Good time, your
When it's
favorite
just
Tom Hanks
ripe
right
enough where
there.
it's just sweet enough, but it doesn't get bad and doesn't have the bruises on it yet.
Hey, you reach a point where it's just like, you know, this banana's too far gone. I'm going to turn it into banana bread. And then you fucking don't.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just goes to waste.
It does. They
Mm.
typically do. Well, I mean, because you never have enough, too. It's like you need 3 large, overly ripe bananas to make
Yeah, then
banana
you
bread.
usually
We
have
always
one.
like-
What are you going to do, make a
Exactly.
slice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
I just like eating banana bread. I don't know how to make it.
Oh, that is good shit.
That's some white people shit.
That is white people shit.
Yeah,
That's
you're
why I was
right.
like, you white
You're
people.
right. Yeah. We'll make it. You eat it.
Thanks.
We'll go with that.
It's delicious. One thing I won't have is carrot cake, though.
Ugh. Ugh.
Not a fan.
No.
Not a
No,
fan.
no.
As a white man, I will tell you that carrot cake is a delight.
That's it. They found Walter, the older guy. The one who like kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
They found his dog wandering, and so they try to return the dog to the house, and they realize the house was empty. So they're like, "Oh fuck, he's dead!" And so they automatically go to the Klopex. Well, like, Art automatically thinks it's the Klopex, and he somehow convinces everyone else that like maybe this is a problem, and that's why they go to the Klopex house, and they're just like, you know, trying to snoop around a little bit, and they get invited and everything. That's what happened. Okay, I totally forgot. Yeah, the Klopex return, or then they, Ray sends Carol and their son Dave to visit Carol's sister, freeing Ray and his buddies to explore the Klopex. Art and Ray dig for Walter's remains in the backyard, while Rumsfeld stands guard. While nothing is incriminating is found, Ray and Art break into the basement and discover what appears to be a crematorium. Also, why don't we live in a place that has a crematorium in the basement?
Yeah, good point.
That's a, right?
Yeah, that's a, yeah.
Could
Oh,
throw
you would
some
never go into it, though, because it's a
hearty
basement.
barbecues.
True.
Yeah.
But, no, I'd probably go in if it were a crematorium. I wouldn't go in.
You would just give me bodies to cremate. You would be like, I can't go down there. There's centipedes. There's ghost.
Yeah, I don't do basements.
No.
By the way, here's a body to cremate.
Yeah. You know, typical day in life of Horde Delilah.
All right.
Honestly.
brings home a body. I don't
Yeah.
ask questions.
But then, oh, so yeah, and then that's when the Klopex walk in on them. They bring the cops because they saw the lights on in the basement.
Yeah.
That's what they said. So they bring the cops. They find them in the basement, and it's just, oh, everybody's looking around. Nothing happened here. All this stuff, and so it makes them look like they're fucking nuts.
Look like crazy neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art goes to fetch Ray, who's digging into the basement's earthen floor, discovers what he believes is a buried crypt. He realizes too late his pickaxe has struck a gas line, and the house explodes. And of course, Walter arrives. Walter, the older guy whose dog was out, he arrives home during the commotion. So again, they're looking. It's very. Do you remember Monster House, right?
Of course. We just watched that recently.
That's right. Yeah. When they killed the old. They thought they killed the old guy, and they do all the stuff with the house, and then he comes back and he's all bad. So that's
Talking
pretty
about
much
the CGI Monster House, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I love that movie. It's great.
Underrated.
Yep.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. After. Oh yeah. So Walter arrives home during the commotion. He's been in the hospital, and the reason they found his mail at the Klopex, but it's because he asked the Klopex to grab his mail while he was gone. So that's why. And after Ray earlier slipped Walter's toupee into the mail slot after absentmindedly putting it into his pocket, it was mistakenly gathered up in the mail, and that's why it was at the Klopex house. So that's what makes sense. Werner Klopek enters the ambulance and at this point, like, he blows up the house. He tosses himself into the gurney and into the ambulance, and that's when the doctor, he enters the ambulance. Ray apologizes to him, but Warner accuses Ray of having seen the human skull in the basement furnace, and he reveals that they murdered the previous owners, confirming the suspicions. Vehicle crashes into another house. 'Cause that's right. He tries to drive the ambulance away with Tom Hanks in it.
Correct.
But
yeah.
they
I
get
forgot
into a
about
struggle. The ambulance crashes into someone else's house. They both get ejected, and then Ray, that's when he starts making the citizen's arrest. It's very like, I mean, we're talking about it's a very specific kind of 80s Tom Hanks, like his mannerisms and his shouting, and like it's him.
He's over the top.
He's
Yep.
crazy.
He's so over the top in this movie.
God. It's him yelling 2 weeks in Money Pit, or like yelling at Hooch and Turner and Hooch, just like stuff like that. It's just like that very, so he's just doing his citizens arresting, being as just crazy
Manic,
and absolutely wild as possible.
Yeah, in the 80s, he definitely had like a niche that he stuck to, and in the 90s, he became like a serious actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so while this is going on, one of the other neighbors finds a body in the Klopex trunk. So that pretty much sets that story.
So now, now this is a cul-de-sac. What the fuck were the people like on the other side of the house doing? Because there's a neighborhood right next there.
Exactly.
They're probably watching like, look at these fucking assholes.
Or
like a guy's like scouring like over the military crazy guys with the hot wife. He's just like dressed in all camo, army crawling across the lawn. You see the neighbors on the other side just like, honey, those people over there are fucked.
Could you imagine living, like, all this shit's going on, you're just trying to innocently mind your business, and then the house behind you explodes?
Oh.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Well, I mean, yeah, we
Well,
know
yeah,
we
know.
know somebody
Yeah.
that happened to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks.
It's brutal, man.
Yeah.
Ruins your life, that's for sure.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, but I know it's not like horror per se, but it's just like that horror comedy kind of deal where it's just, what's that face?
It's a dark comedy, yeah.
There was no face.
You were making a face.
I was not making a face.
Oh, did you see the
He was making a face.
Okay, thank you. You furrow your brow like when I say something. You like kind of.
Oh no! That's heartburn. Yeah, I just came down with asthma recently, and I have like 2 inhalers now. But I also have really bad acid reflux, and my insurance company didn't approve the heartburn medication. So I like take a sip of water, and I'm like, oh god, heartburn.
Right.
Guys, I'm turning 30 tomorrow, and I am judging by everything that's going down with Mike. I'm not looking forward to 36. It seems like it's all downhill from here.
Every year in the winter, my knees get worse and worse when I'm outside.
Shit.
Oh.
So the Burbs.
The Burbs.
Anyway, yeah, it is. It's that dark comedy. It's just it's perfect, and it is. It's like that. It takes what actually is like suburban America and it just amplifies it.
Yeah.
It's everything with the nosy neighbors and the creepy neighbors and everything. It's so funny. It's so good. And yeah, it's got dead stuff in it. So
There you go.
if you haven't watched The Burbs, then you're weird. But also
Agreed.
watch
Nice.
The Burbs. I'm pretty sure Amazon has it, right? It's
I
on Prime?
believe
Does
so, yeah,
Yeah.
because we watched it recently, and I think it was streaming on Amazon
I
Prime.
believe so, yeah. It's
Yeah.
streaming somewhere. and it's
Unless
free,
they
so-
took it off.
No, I think because we scrolled by it yesterday, too, I believe.
Yeah, it might still be on there.
You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
we did.
definitely still on there.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, what a fun movie.
Actually, I got a funny story about The Burbs. When it came out on VHS back in the 80s when I used to rent my movies, I actually rented The Burbs, watched it. And it's funny because something similar just happened. Like I started watching, I don't know if you guys ever seen the TV show The Goldbergs.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's set in the 80s. Well, they had an episode where the dad goes to the video store to rent a video, and he ends up finding out that there's a video that he never returned. So he had to pay like this huge late fee, and he refused to pay the late fee because he insisted that he returned the video. And
Boy,
sure
if I
enough,
had a dollar
he
every
was
time
sitting
that
down.
happened,
Yeah, I know.
I'd be
He
able
was
to pay
sitting
my
down
late fees.
in on his living room chair. He reaches in to grab the remote into the side pocket, and out comes the video.
Oh, no.
So he goes to return it, and the guy was like, "Here you go. So I don't have to pay the $59.99." He was like, "No." He goes, "Now you owe $164 in late fees." He's like, "Fuck that! I'm taking the movie back."
Yeah.
So he was like, "Yeah, well, you're banned from the shop." So something similar happened to me in the 80s. I rented The Burbs, and I ended up keeping it. Or should I say, my dad rented it for me because I wasn't old enough to rent movies yet. He rented it for me. I ended up keeping the movie. I ended up keeping the movie longer. It was like a 5-day rental. I ended up keeping it like 6 days or 7 days. And me being a dumbass kid that I was, instead of like returning the movie because I knew it was going to incur late fees and my dad had to pay late fees, I just figured I'd just keep the movie and hide the movie.
Funny story. Doesn't work like that.
It does not work like that because every time we would go to rent movies, and we rented movies like a couple times a week,
Yeah.
they'd be like, "So you still have The Burbs out?" And I'd be like, "No, I returned it." And my dad was like, "Do you have this fucking movie?" I was like, "No, I returned it." And my dad was like, "Well, we returned it." And we actually, the one time my dad got into like a fight, like an argument with the clerk at the video store because he insisted that we return the movie. And he was like, "No, you didn't return the movie. We could just charge you the price for it." Back then, because it first came out, it was a new release movies. New release movies were like $99.99 a piece, like $100 for a VHS tape. And my dad was like, "I'm not fucking paying that."
No, absolutely not.
And so they were like, "Well, you got to return the movie." And I was like, "No, we returned the movie. The movie's there." Long story short, we had to find another video store.
Yeah.
And I ended up keeping that copy of The Burbs.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I'm like, I don't want my dad to find out about it. So I threw it away in a dumpster.
No.
You're
oh
on-
my god.
You told us
Yep.
before. Was it? But like, did you? Or am I thinking of another story? Did you rush home before your dad and go to the answering machine and erase messages from the video store? Am I thinking of something else?
No, that doesn't sound like me
Okay.
at all.
I'm thinking of something else because you told that before, but I thought that was part of
I
it.
don't think I told that. I may have told this story, but I don't remember telling this story
Yeah.
I
before.
think I remember. I
Yeah,
don't
no.
remember this
No,
one.
you
video
told it was
story.
like fucking like episode 5, whatever.
Huh.
I know. I could have sworn there was something about going home and like erasing messages before like your dad got home.
No.
Maybe I
that
think of
wasn't-
something else.
Yeah, that wasn't me. I definitely did that before, but I don't think I ever talked about it. Huh.
You
Interesting.
spilled. You were probably high.
So yes, I had a copy of the Burbs, and it was going to cost me $100, or my dad $100, and my dad got into a fight with a cashier about it.
Yeah.
So we
did
had to find a new
that.
video store.
Well, we did that to Family Video by accident with Sinister 2, and then we never returned it. Family Video closed, so fuck y'all.
Win for Horror Delilah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Suckers.
kill
I really
Wasp
wish
with
that
it.
we would have accidentally stolen a way better movie. However,
Yeah. Sinister
these are
2
the
was
cards
kinda-
we were dealt.
Yeah. So my movie for 1989 was, like I said earlier, it was Horror Show.
It was Horror Show.
It's not anymore. The runner-up was 976 Evil. Have you guys watched it? Have you guys seen it?
No.
This is Robert Englund's movie, right?
This was Robert Englund's movie. He directed it. It was pretty much, I mean, he came out with Dream Master, and then he came out with this movie as his directorial debut. And I don't think he directed anything else noteworthy since.
No.
He directed a couple episodes on that Freddy's Nightmare show, but I think this
Yeah.
is the only like
Yeah, that
movie,
doesn't count.
movie that he actually directed.
Yeah, this was, and I remember the marketing for they touted it as, you know, like his big movie and his big directorial debut, and you know, it seemed like there was going to be more movies or more stuff that he was going to direct, but I don't think this movie did very well at all. So I think that was just it for him. The movie stars, I think his name is Stephen Jeffries. It's the kid that played Evil in Fright Night.
Yes.
Yep.
He basically story. Oh, and it's funny because wait, what movie were we just talking about? Robert Picardo, who was in The Burbs, is also in 976 Evil.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
He was also on Star Trek. To segue back to when
There
he was
you
talking
go.
about Star Trek, but
It's all connected.
it is all connected. But the movie, I like this movie because this I think would be actually a perfect entry for a Thursday Night Terrors
Really?
screening.
976 Evil?
976 Evil. It's 100% 80s. The style, the acting, everything, the special effects,
Special
the
effects are
lighting,
sweet.
just everything in this movie was like pitch perfect 80s. You know, the story is Stephen Jeffries' character plays a kid named Hoax, which again, what the fuck is it with this guy and with weird like character
Evil,
names? He played
Hoax.
Evil Ed, and then he played Hoax. But he was just this kid, a big dweeb nerd, lived with his mother, wears pajamas while he's watching TV. Looks up to his cousin.
What's wrong with wearing pajamas while you're watching TV?
But
I think it was a whole living at home thing.
yeah, I mean, he lives at home, but he was in high school.
Eugene likes to get dressed business casual before he turns the TV on.
Listen, I wear boxers, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love
So-
jammies.
I can't do jammies. It's too hot. Too hot for jammies. But he lives with his mother. His mother was like this big Bible thumper with like a million cats. He looks up to his cousin named Spike, who hangs out with all these bullies who end up playing poker at this movie house in this projector room with titty cards.
And there's a Maniac poster behind him.
There was a Maniac poster. There was a bunch of posters, actually. A bunch of different Texas Chainsaw Massacre and other movies from the 80s and the 70s. And I think that his cousin's name was Spike. He looked up to Spike. Something happens along the lines of there's all these flyers running around in the streets or flying around in the streets for this 976 number, because 976 numbers were big in the 80s for porno lines, and you can talk to your favorite cartoon character.
976?
You can get psychic readings. You can do all that. It was very big in the 90s, where you pay like $6 or $7 for the first minute and like $3 each additional minute. So, you know, kids used to run up their fucking parents.
I don't remember
phone-
976 being
phone
a thing.
bills.
I remember it was
976 was huge.
it was safe to call 800,
I remember
but
commercials for 976.
really,
Yeah.
but if
Yeah.
you called a 900 number, that's where like your mom would whoop your ass,
Yeah.
or your grandparents in my case.
No,
would whoop my
976 were the ones. It was 976 sexy or 976 Woody or 976, you know. You can fill in the blanks.
ass. Yeah.
So anyway, there were these flyers for 976 Evil, and it was find out your horoscope, and horror was spelled HORROR, as in horoscope, and you had to
Nice.
dial 666 to find out your horoscope. So anytime somebody found a flyer and called, they got some sort of prophecy from some demon-sounding dude, which ended up being a guy with a cold, and something bad happened to them. Turns out this hoax calls a number, gets possessed by a demon or the devil. I'm not sure which one it was, but he ends up exacting revenge on the people that ended up bullying him and shit. Cool, actually, note is character actor Billy Drago, who played Frank Nitti in The Untouchables and a bunch of other stuff. He played one of the bullies in this movie.
That's a cool
Also,
fucking name.
yeah, Billy Drago.
Yeah.
And special effects were done by Kevin Yeager, who was the same special effects guy who did Freddy's makeup on pretty much all the Nightmare on Elm Street
Very nice.
films. Yeah,
That's cool.
which makes perfect sense seeing as Robert Englund directed it.
Mm-hmm.
So Hoax ends up getting possessed by this demon. He ends up, killing actually, once he gets possessed, that's when the movie gets good. He starts killing everybody. There's a scene where he goes to the projection room where they're playing poker. Two of the bullies take him into a room. He comes back out and he said, "Hey, can I join in the game? I got a pair of hearts." And he pulls out 2 hearts from his hands.
I see what he did
Yeah,
there.
and they were
wonderful.
still beating hearts. And what else? He had a couple of actually different kills in it. He ends up killing his mom, and she gets eaten by her cats, and just all sorts of cool
came back
shit.
to be Michelle Pfeiffer.
Catwoman
In Batman
pretty
Returns,
much.
right?
Yes, in Batman Returns. But there was a subplot that I don't remember involving a PI that was investigating something. And he ends up going back and investigating on the 976 number, finds out the 976 number, the guy who ran the agency was some dude who made it into like an automated system so he can make more money, so he can get rid of his live employees, but it didn't work and it was wonky, so he left it by itself. And it seemed like this machine was just randomly doing this stuff, and it was possessed by a demon. And what else happened with Hoax after he got possessed? He killed the bullies. Then he went after Spike, his cousin, who would protect him the whole time. They get into this big fight. His house turns into like a winter wonderland, which that actually kind of like confused me, because seeing as you're like the devil, you're possessed by a demon. Wouldn't it be hot? No, it was
Budget.
It was cold. And it was actually pretty good special effects. Like there was a big
Would you say
chasm.
it was a cold day in hell?
That's funny because they use that line in the
Did
movie.
they really?
He
Oh
uses
my
a line in the
God.
movie.
I'm so happy right now.
He finally does this face down with Spike, his cousin, and he knocks him down. He goes, "Look at this." He goes, "You're in that position and I'm in this position over you. Guess it's a cold day in hell."
Oh.
Yeah.
Waka
So-
flocka.
Waka waka. And I forgot what the way the movie ends up, which also confused me too. A big like chasm opens up outside the house that goes into hell. There's fire, there's brimstone, there's all sorts of shit going on. Spike ends up fighting, and the PI ends up fighting Hoax. Somehow, it looked like they were both going to fall out the window, and Hoax is the only one that ends up falling out the window. Falls down the chasm into the fiery depths of hell, and then the chasm closes up. And that's how the movie ends. Nope,
Nice,
not
nice,
really.
nice.
There's actually
Just
not an end credit scene, but right before the credits, roll, we found out that the guy who made up the whole interactive 976 evil number was really like the devil or some shit, and he was the one who set all this up.
That son of a bitch.
That son of a bitch. But yeah, you know what? I like the movie. I think the movie, it was kind of slow in the beginning, but it needed that build up. The last 20, 25 minutes, I think, totally redeemed them
Nice.
in terms of a good 80s horror movie.
Okay.
And like I said, I think it's a prime candidate for a Thursday night terror screening.
There's a scene where Hoax, who played Evil Ed in Fright Night, is actually standing right next to a Fright Night poster in that projection room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always like little shit like that. I think that's cool. I will tell you this: there is a number that you can call that will not turn you into a demon, and that is the Call and Oates hotline, where you could call to get your daily dose of Hall and Oates. It's still a working number. It came out in the 80s. The number is area code 719-266-2834. One more time, 719-266-2837. Call that number. You will not be disappointed. You have your choice of 4 songs that you could listen to over the phone. Yes, you could probably play it on your iTunes or Spotify, but fuck that. Call it. It's a good time.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
Which
a lot
was the
of
one with the mustache? Hall or Oates?
Oates.
Oates had the mustache?
Daryl Hall was the
And
the
John
blonde
Oates?
fella. Yeah.
John Quaker Oates?
John Oates was Johnny Puma.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, guys, that was fun.
All right.
I enjoyed it.
Covering little 30-year-old order.
1989.
Hey.
Guys.
Happy birthday, Drewski.
Yeah, and so this is coming out Thursday the 21st, so that means Thursday Night Terrors is tonight. If you are in the
Yes.
Buffalo area or somewhere surrounding and you can make the hike, it is at 7:30 p.m. and Demon Wind will be playing.
Woo, can't
Very
wait for that.
excited about that one.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
That is a banger.
Yeah, hopefully I have a little more sleep under my belt so I can stay awake for it.
Jesus Christ. The moment you recline. I'm waking you up during the pop can scene, though.
All right, that's
Right.
fair.
Don't
Bug me while I'm sleeping.
No, I dare not.
Let me-
It's like petting a tiger.
I'm an angel when I sleep, thank you.
It's like waking up Will Ferrell in Step Brothers when he's sleepwalking. No, you're not supposed to wake them up. You just start killing everyone around you.
It doesn't happen.
Put this body in the crematorium.
I'm significantly nicer from the hours of like 2 a.m. to about 7:30 a.m.
Jesus Christ, it's not even you. I don't know who you are during that time. I don't know who the fuck you are.
I'd say it's because it's before people have had a chance to ruin my fucking day. I'm just like, I'm just a pleasant person. I
Like,
love
or
it.
I'm outside, like, I'm parked behind her. We're moving cars as she's headed to work at 5 a.m. And she's like, Micah, look, stars.
They're really pretty at that time. Everything's so dark.
I
you can
can't
see 'em
even,
so
like,
well.
say words yet.
I'm a morning person. What can I say? But
Yes, you are.
yeah. So do the Thursday Night Terrors. You can find us everywhere,
Everywhere.
YouTube included. You can donate to our Patreon. That would be
Yes.
lovely. Links in our bio.
Yes.
Same with our Teespring. If you want some leggings or T-shirt or coffee cup or I don't know, maybe
Condom.
Hoodie, motherfucker.
yeah, hoodie, condoms, dental dams.
Dental dams.
Yeah, definitely.
IUDs.
Yeah, vibrators.
Yes.
Electric slide.
Guys, why don't we have Terror Trio vibrators?
I don't know. Territorial dildos.
Because you would
Yeah.
come way too hard. Way too hard.
You think so?
Yeah, put you in a fucking coma.
I don't know. I wanted to test
Yeah.
that.
Me too. I don't know how.
You'll figure it out. That's right. Yeah, the world is your oyster.
That's
You
right. That's right. Just got to slurp it down.
Just slurp it down. Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
We
so
will also be at Empire State Wrestling
Oh, yeah.
this Saturday in Lockport, New York. Bell time is at 6 o'clock at the Keenan
6
Center.
o'clock.
6 o'clock. Yeah. Eugene will be there with his co-host from Geeks at Lift, Mark.
I'll be there for a bit before I leave y'all to go see Last Podcast on the Left.
You fucking traitor. That
Mhm.
sounds like a good time, though.
It's gonna be a fucking great
Yeah.
time. I'm excited.
Well, you're missing a cage match.
Oh.
The tragedy.
True tragedy. Yeah, about that. Also, if you want to reach out to us for literally any fucking reason, you can DM us on any of the social medias, or you can reach us at territorialpodcast@gmail.com. Micah's been very proud of the Twitter, so just Jesus Christ, just tweet him somewhere on, like, literally just say hi Terror Trio Podcast. It will make his blonde day.
It will.
It
Ah. I like that Twitter.
will. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
No, I think that's it. Hopefully we'll see a lot of you guys on Saturday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Thursday at Terrors. Say hi to us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Don't say hi to me. I'm just kidding. Okay, that's all. Anything else? No? Good?
That's it.
Great. On that note, I'm Drew.
I'm Eugene.
I'm Max Stanky. It's been 1 week since I look at me.
Who were you this time?
The killer
Max
from the
Jenke,
horror
the
show.
guy from the horror
Oh,
show, yeah.
sorry.
Damn it, you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
No, I fell
No,
asleep.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
See ya.